Good morning, good day. Hello to you. Welcome to Hug Nation Live. I'm John Halcyon here to be present with you, to share some gratitude. You might be watching this recording actually, and we can still be present with one another because we are present in an intention. Hug Nation is not a place, it is a shared vibration. It's not bound by physical location. It's not bound by time. So if you are here, you are joining us, whether you are listening to it in the future or currently. If you are currently listening, then as you share your gratitudes as comments, I can read them aloud and share with everyone else who is here live. Welcome, Desert Salt and Savvy and Levertini and Dorch and the Danny Fingers. What are you grateful for? I want to hear. Good morning, Gerbot. Good to see you. Hello, Libertini. What are you grateful for? Let me know. I'm feeling filled with gratitude today. It is a gorgeous day here in San Diego. We got rain the last few days, but it's sunny. And so the plants are just like, woo! It is like carnival for my rooted friends in the canyon and the garden. Libertini says, grateful for you and your effort. Always enjoyed your space. Thank you. What a great thing to hear. I really appreciate that. I've been talking and thinking lately about how effective it can be just to try to align with the person that you want to be on a daily basis. And that doesn't even have to look like anything. It doesn't mean you do something spectacular. I cleaned up all the trash in the parking lot. Great. That's awesome. That's certainly a good task. But rather than evaluating and judging your life based on tasks, evaluate your life based on intention and characters. What are the attributes and energies and attitudes that you bring to the moments of your day, so that whatever you do during those moments is of service, is activism. Levertini says, congrats on the engagement. Thank you. I am so happy and so grateful. And what's really blows my mind occasionally is that I'm pretty sure that Lisa is as into me as I am into her. And I didn't know you could love another person like this. I didn't know this feeling of partnership was possible. So I am so grateful. Levertini says, I help a stranger every day. Incredible. Any chance you could share an example or two of what that means to help a stranger? I would love to have some specifics. And anytime anyone is sharing gratitude, you're totally welcome to say, I'm grateful for my family, but it is so much richer for us to feel it as well as for you to anchor to it, to say, I'm grateful for my family, say, I'm grateful for my son who has been struggling with his math, but has been doing it anyway. And he had a little bit of a meltdown, but he got through it. And I'm just so proud of him. Welcome, Brian Thomas and Anemalid Moreno and Lisa. Lisa 1. Lisa 2 is who I'm engaged to. Lisa says, I'm grateful for sticking to certain boundaries I have set for myself. It's a slow process, but the wheels are now moving at least. Boy, oh boy, boundaries. Depending on how you were raised and your disposition, boundaries and learning to set boundaries and hold boundaries and do so from a place of calm and peace is one of the most important things you can learn. Because if you can establish clear, calm boundaries, you can control or protect yourself without getting into anger and frustration. You say, I am happy to talk to you on the phone, but I'm but until you demonstrate to me that you can keep a calm voice, I'm unable to meet with you in person. Or email only until you build up my trust and demonstrate that you can use kind words. I'm not angry at you. I don't hate you. I just realize your capacity is making you operate on a level that is unacceptable to me. So rather than be angry at you, I'm going to explain to you what my requirements are. If you can't handle those requirements, it's okay. I might be sad. I might grieve the loss of the relationship that we had, but I'm not angry. Lisa says, I'm an empath and people pleaser. So boundaries for myself are difficult. Definitely a process. Yeah. Recovering people pleaser as well. And part of that process is really unlearning the pieces of you that feel responsible for other people's feelings and reactions. Because often those reactions, those feelings, those upset is a subconsciously taught tactic to get their way. If I'm afraid that if I tell my friend that I don't want them stopping by my house, and if I'm afraid if I tell them that they'll be hurt and angry and, have shame about that. So I don't say it because I don't want to hurt their feelings. It's like, well, then I've incurred the cost. And you have no idea if the negative experience, I'll say negative, the difficult, the challenging experience that they will go through is not critical for their growth and evolution. I had someone this weekend ask for advice on a friend that was addicted to ketamine. And it was someone in their Burning Man camp. And they demonstrated they were out of control and they had to be reminded. And then they had to be reminded again. And then they didn't show up for their responsibilities in camp. And they were trying to figure out, should we not invite them back? And my opinion was you you established and were clear about the expectations. They did not meet those expectations. So the answer is the experience that you desire to have at Burning Man is not within what we have decided as a camp is the requirement. You did not do your shifts, so you are not welcome back. And even though I would guess by putting my own previously ketamine addicted mind into that person, they would probably be like, fine, you know, you don't understand how ketamine is such a tool for me. And my relationship to ketamine means I am having like awareness from a higher authority. So if you don't get that, fine. But eventually, over time, when they start to realize, oh, I lost that community, I lost those connections to those people, I don't have the success in my professional world that I feel like I should be having. My relationships are falling apart here and there. And they start to develop this body of evidence of uncomfortable things that happen because other people had to create boundaries due to their addiction fueled behavior. And in a ideal situation, they get so burdened by the consequences that they have to start thinking, wait, I really don't want to stop doing this, but look at all of the things that I've traded for it. And the same is true in non-addiction. If people are just rude or mean or inconsiderate, late, whatever the things are that are making you upset. Oh, I'm going to decide on what is required for me so I don't get upset, and then just tell them to you. And if you can go, oh, great. Okay, well, then I'll be on time. We're good. If they can't, then it's like, hey, we had a boundary. We're not making plans like that anymore. No anger, no hard feelings, just a clear boundary. High Noon says, hello, y'all. Just wanted to say each one of you are amazing if no one else tells you. Thank you. Gerbot says, grateful for having a job that I enjoy, has good benefits, and allows me to be in service to others. What a absolute beautiful thing to be grateful for are the things about your job that you enjoy or value or give meaning to you. Thank you, Gerbot. Juan says, the other day I paid for groceries that a person could not afford. As they were walking away from the store, I put the groceries in their wagon that she was pulling without her knowing. That was fun. Oh, Juan, I sure love you, man. I love your heart. And that is kind of the ideal example of what I refer to and talk about when you are being a part of this practice and priming your mind to be kind and gifting and of service, then an opportunity like that pops up and you go, whoom, okay, it's yay, I have the opportunity. Otherwise, the situation comes up and you go, oh, wait, and they're in their car and driven away before you go, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to pay for their stuff. And you go, oh, so big ups, salutes, yeah, yes. 3 cheers for you, Juan. Thank you for sharing that. Welcome, Camille and Eternal Glim and Animalid Moreno and anyone else who's popping in. Please share something that you're grateful for, something teeny, something big. Lisa says about Juan, that's like a scene from a movie, and I'm super inspired by it. Welcome, Kiri. Hello, good morning. I am grateful for one of my men's groups. One of my men's groups met last night we didn't meet as a men's group. We had a family night out at a big brewery game, like a place with bowling alleys called something Republic. But and so it was most of the guys in my men's group, their spouses and their kids. Lisa came, and a lot of these guys I've known, over 15 years. And we've been in men's group that meets once a month, like 6 or 7 years. And it really was so nice to drop in, have these little drop-ins. Actually, I really liked this, how we set it up, where we had 2 bowling alleys and way too many people that wanted to bowl, or not way too many, but like 7 per lane. So there was plenty of time to talk and have conversations. And then, I got to go bowl. And then when they went to go bowl, you'd be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go drop in with that person. I'm going to go talk to that person. And it was just a delight. Kiri says, good morning. Well, she didn't say it like that. She said good morning. But then my tone is because of what she said next. Grateful I just quit my job. Congratulations. Very excited to see what you and the universe unfold into and adventure into next. Camille says, grateful for the beautiful home I get to settle into these next few months. Congrats. Welcome home. That reminds me, I am so grateful for my home. Oh my goodness. I love it here so much. And specifically this last couple of days, I'm grateful for all the storage. We've got a walk-in closet that Lisa and I share. And then my office has its own closet. So one half of the closet is just all my coats, like fur coats and leather coats, and I've got a little bit of a coat thing, and plenty of room for costumes. And then we have underground storage where I've got bins of my Burning Man stuff, just in case I ever go back to Burning Man. Uh, High Noon says, I'm grateful to be here now to experience the insights from y'all. This is such a massive dose of love I feel in these streams. Thanks, High Noon. Lisa says, Kiri, you are a rock star and excited to be in your corner and watch you soar. Nice. Welcome, Noxalunas. I made last, I turned yesterday's broadcast. I edited and cleaned it up because I didn't have this microphone set up yesterday. So the audio was terrible yesterday. I don't know if you noticed, but so AI cleaned up the audio, edited it down, and I put it as a new video on YouTube, and I put it into the Hug Nation podcast that's on Spotify and Apple iTunes, etc. And I don't know why I brought that up, but I really appreciate. I listened to it with Lisa on our ride to the event last night because it was like an hour drive in traffic, and I just was so warmed. Oh, I know what I was thinking. I'm going to try to read and the gratitude comments clearer, because sometimes I feel like because you are reading them yourselves, I say people's names quickly or too fast. I go, Natasha says, "Happy Hug Nation," but I need to say, Natasha, she writes, "Happy Hug Nation." Hmm. Kiri says, "Oh, I'm also grateful for the stunning new belt I just bought at the Texas Renaissance Festival this past weekend. Been on the lookout for one just like it since 2018, and I finally found it." I know that feeling. In fact, yesterday, I found a backup pair of some of my favorite shoes. I bought these like super cheapy white boots online, and I love them, but they're not made that great. And so I'm kind of afraid to wear them. And then I saw them, I found them. So I ordered myself a backup pair. Now, and then I put on my existing pair, and I went outside and I filmed some little content that's going to be a, hey, come on down to the Love Ambassador meetup in January. It's a little promo video. And I went out by the cactus that I mentioned yesterday that's got all the blooms. But to do so, I had to go in the canyon, and I didn't realize how clunky the soles were and how deep the grooves are underneath. And that's one reason why I like them. It's got these good, cool white, like thick boot soles, but but they got so filled up with mud. I had to spend like 30 minutes with a screwdriver and a pan of water trying to clean all the mud that was stuck in the shoes. But I know the joy of finding a clothing item that you want. Kiri says, "Yes, it feels so good." Now, I'm not ready to fully embrace this gratitude yet, but I think it may have worked. I just got a really nice white shirt, super comfortable, from Lisa. I got it for my birthday, and this weekend I wore it, and I was gorging on the most sweetest watermelon, and I spilled watermelon juice all over me. And in my mind, I was like, watermelon juice, that's going to come right out in the wash. It did not. And I didn't realize that until I'd already dried it. And everything online says, don't dry it, it will set it. There's nothing you can do once it's dried. But I really treated it with this stuff called Grandma's Little Helper, which is really good stain stuff. And I think it worked. The sun wasn't up when I checked, so I'll check later. But I'm future grateful for rescuing the nicest shirt that I own and it not being uh, splattered with pink dots, which, it's its own fashion. I'm clearly slow to the understanding that a white wardrobe is not a forever wardrobe if you're attached to it staying white. Good morning, Mingle. I love you too. Hope you are doing so good. Welcome, Shelby, or Shelby Janelle and Nancy and Randall and anyone else who might be in. What are you grateful for? Leave a comment. We'll share it with the class. I'm grateful that Lisa had time to come with me to the men's group, family gathering last night. A lot of the people there have known each other for a decade plus, and so Lisa is definitely like the new kid in the class. And it's a big ask to go to group events in loud places when you don't know all the people, or the people you don't know that well. And so I'm super grateful that she was able to really charge, especially after she had back-to-back retreats the last 2 weekends. So she certainly deserved a night off, but she came, was a champ, a good sport, and people were really happy to see her. Welcome, CJ. Sarah says, good morning. Grateful to be here with you all. Juan, you're such a loving spirit. Grateful to be home after months of work and family visits. Grateful for taking my niece out to celebrate her engagement. Congrats to your niece. Mingle says, gratitude for hosting a Transgender Day of Remembrance service tonight, and for the opportunity to reach out to college students in San Francisco State to let them know there is a safe space at a church close by. What a better world it is because of you, Mingle. Thank you. Kiri says, I'm grateful for the incredible Shakespeare performance I attended last night, and for the handsome man who played Cassius, who will be joining my friends and I for some dancing and merriment next Tuesday. Huzzah! Cassius, which play is that? Could you remind me? Mingle says, I have gratitude for the trans community and for our siblings living their authentic lives. So much of my life has been about pursuing authenticity. And it's such a different concept for me, a white man who, for the most part, can play act and fit in anywhere. For many people, they have to face every day with a really challenging struggle of the world not embracing their authenticity. Yesterday I shared, some of the negativity that I got, but it's a whole another realm that I don't understand. I'm not saying, oh, I know what it's like. I absolutely do not. I can only imagine the feeling as you go through the world, knowing that some of the people that you pass are ignorant and confused and take that out as anger towards your very existence. Ugh. Ugh. Cassius is Brutus's brother. Brutus is the bro that murdered Caesar. Ah, yes. Et tu, Brute? Welcome, Paige and Debbie and Christina and Wendy. What are you grateful for? Please let us know. I'm grateful that the cactus with the one-day blooms is still going awesome today. I'm grateful that last night I edited up a little video of a compilation of people singing. The choir season, it inspired. Singing with Lisa is inspiring. And she really teaches how spells how songs are spells and tools. And like there's one song that you sing to someone that you're having conflict with to establish, like, hey, this is the way through that. That one starts, both our needs have got to get met here. Both our needs, we're part of a team. Both our needs have got to get met here. So let's tend the fear and find the bigger picture. But there's another great song. It's in this house we lead with love. And a number of people in the choir have had opportunities to sing it and recorded themselves singing it and then shared it with the group. And so I made a little compilation of different people singing it. So it's a minute long. I think I want to share it with you. Let's see, let's go.
In this house, we lift each other up.
This house,
Oh, this is the house we've been dreaming of.
oh, this is the house we've been dreaming of.
So come on over,
Come on over,
welcome in.
welcome in.
Come on over,
Come on over,
let's be friends.
Let's be friends.
Come on over,
come on over.
There is enough. Oh, this is the house we've been dreaming of. Oh, this is the house we've been dreaming of. Oh, this is the house we've been dreaming of. Oh, this is the house we've been dreaming of.
Wasn't that fun? I know that it's like, for me, hearing you, Juan, share how you are bringing your love ambassador practice into the world is like such a profound joy to me. And when Lisa hears that people are taking the songs they learn and bringing them into the world, I think it's a similar feeling for her. Dawn says, hugs from Cloudy, Utah. Hello. Hugs to you. Sarah is grateful to return home to a letter from you with an invite for January's gathering and my sweet letter I wrote to myself from your retreat. I would love to join in a choir and sing with Lisa. Yeah, that was fun. I sent out only one of them returned during last year's Love Ambassador meetup, which this year is happening January 10th, 11th. Last year, one of the things we did was we wrote a letter to ourselves, and then I said I would send it to you. And so I sent it last week to the participants. I did not read them. That was part of the agreement. I wonder, do I have mine nearby? Yeah, I'm going to read mine. Mingle says, music is a spell, powerful. Feel free to share what you are grateful for. Not feel free. I encourage you. I beseech. Sarah says, I love this. Bravo, Lisa. I would consider moving so I can immerse myself in your choir. I love these singing prayers. I live these singing prayers to our families. So during Love Ambassador weekend, this is the letter I wrote to myself. Dear John, I want to have faith in myself, to remember how much evidence I receive that I am doing a good job. I am making a difference. Keep falling into that place of, I am a good man. If that is true, then I am solid. Gentle masculinity. I can say, I don't know. I need help. I'm scared. But I know I am a human, really big, doing a damn good job. Sharing that is equal to healing for others. I love you, John. I'm proud of you, John. Yeah, that still feels true. I had a lot of affirmation this weekend from people that I have met before and people that I just met this weekend who either told me directly or told Lisa really beautiful things about my presence and the energy and their interactions with me. And that feels good, especially since, there was a time 3 years ago when I thought, man, I don't think people are going to like sober John. He's not nearly as fun. Anyone else want to share any last gratitudes? I'm grateful for my new glowing heart. I've always loved this love sign, and then Grandpa's shirt kind of matches the pinky purple. And I'm like, you know what? Wouldn't it be cooler if it was more like a balance of neon pink purple? And look at that. Valet says, love you, John. Checking in for a minute while I can from work. Well, thank you for being here, adding your presence to this collection of good energy and good vibes so that we can all be inspired by each other and then take this shared dish and ladle it out to the world as we go through our days. Welcome, Jen. Thank you, Sarah. Last chance to throw some gratitude in. I am grateful. Oh my gosh. I'm grateful I had such a good lunch with my friend Todd. I've probably known Todd 15 years. And during the meditation retreat this weekend, he popped in my mind. And so I sent him a text the Monday night, and he wrote back immediately. And I haven't talked to him in years. Like, I've actually sent him texts through the years, like, "Hey, I'm engaged," and just never got a response. And like, I was like, "Hey, is this still your number?" And he wrote back. He goes, "I'm in San Diego." He was at a neuroscience conference and had a flight out at 2:00 and was in a lecture until 11:20. So we were able to have lunch together and catch up. And it was really, really good. He's an inspiring human being, and I forgot how much, even though he's so different in his world and his path. I mean, he's like a brilliant scientific mind and brilliant in a lot of ways. I feel a little intimidated, but we have so much overlap in the themes and challenges and of our lives, and it was such a rewarding and uplifting experience to reconnect. And so cool that like some spirit voice said, reach out to him right now. Christina says, I am grateful for the joy of hot soup. Yes. I'm actually a pretty new soup lover. I didn't grow up eating a lot of soup except for like Campbell's in a can, and that's not really much to write home about. But Lisa makes delicious soups, and often at the meditation retreats I go to, the evening meal is soup and toast. And maybe I don't like soup. I just like toast, but I sure love soup and toast. Oh man, do I love sourdough toast. Sarah says, thank you for all you bring to the world. I would say the same to you and to everyone who can hear my voice right now. If you can hear my voice, whether this is live or recording, I know a few things about you. One, I know you're a human being. You were raised by other human beings. You incurred a series of large and or small traumas that were the result of you not getting the ideal, perfect parenting and not having all your needs met and all the correct boundaries and all the stuff. And you have been receiving layer upon layer of socialization that has defined a worldview and a reality and a political stance and a cultural stance, has made you feel like you're parts of some groups and not parts of other groups, has made you feel shame about parts of yourself, has made you be in judgment of others and yourself. All of these things I know about you because you're a human. And all of that, plus the fact that you're here now listening to me, you've chosen to sit down to share gratitude, to listen to gratitude, to be a part of a Love Ambassador morning meetup, to be a part of Hug Nation. I know that you're part of the wave, the momentum towards love and compassion. And I know that you are working on your own stuff, trying to clear out the stuff that is in the way of the love that flows through you. And I know that you are, by being you, making the world a better place. And I know that sometimes it's really hard because this world is not set up to celebrate and make it easy for those of us that have made that decision and recognize the significant effects of our peace and our purpose to be committed to personal growth and service in the world. So at whatever level you're doing that, even if the only way that the capacity you have is for self-care and resting, I'm so grateful and so appreciative of you. So grateful that through these incredible technologies, we've been able to find one another and amplify these heart vibrations of one another, these heart songs. One person singing a heart song in a windy day, you can't even hear them, but a crowd of people singing, now we got a choir, now we got harmony, and that harmony spreads. So thank you. Heineen says, 5 words I need to remind myself. I am trying my best. That's one of the core philosophical beliefs that I hold, that, I think that's one of those binary things. Are you a person that thinks that everybody is doing the best they can? Or are you a person that thinks some people could be doing better? I'm of the mind everyone is doing the best they can. Because even if they make a decision not to go to therapy, and you say, well, they could be doing better. Yes, they could. But whatever has happened before that to them, whatever biological and ancestral and cultural things that have impacted them, their minds has too much fear or judgment around the path of making things better for them. So not growing, not trying to be better is the best they can do in that moment. Now those moments change, and each of us, someday the best we can do is pretty incredible. Some days the best we can do is because we are so in our shit, in our triggers, in our bad patterns, that the best we can do is destructive. But I believe we always, without fail, we are always doing the best we can in that moment. Speaking of inspiring people, I was just reading about, what's the actor's name who is in the first version of The Social Network? Eisenberg, I think that's his name. He seems to be a deeply committed love ambassador in ways that I don't even consider. He was saying that on Thanksgiving, they have a Thanksgiving dinner. It's vegan, and they pay for turkeys so that they are not killed. And they have the pictures and the names of those turkeys on their table as they eat a vegan dinner for their Thanksgiving. And he also just donated an organ to a stranger, which is the organ that you can give out and still be okay. Kidney, I think. I saw him on a talk show, and I was like, he's like, no, seriously, I'm in 2 weeks, I'm donating a kidney. Who does that? Especially a movie star. So I'm grateful for those who are in the public eye that role model profound generosity and kindness and compassion. Thank you. Christina says, what if they're littering? That's one of the toughest ones for me to say. They're doing their best they can. So I'll try to say that in a little different way. So imagine that you were raised and your parents were always throwing things out the window. And your dad, every time he threw something out the window, he said, there's people whose job it is to pick that up. Or he said, this world is going to be destroyed in a nuclear war soon anyways. Or whatever it is. And so you have all these beliefs that even though you think, yeah, littering's not great, but it doesn't matter. Or corporations litter so much that my little littering, it doesn't even make a scratch. So why should I inconvenience myself when my actions literally don't matter? And so that worldview and perspective informs the best they can do. And the best they can do is not care and not believe it matters. That's the basis that they are operating from. Now, hopefully someday they learn better and then they do better. There was a time in my life when I had a crate of single-use water bottles delivered to my house every month because it helped me to drink more water. And then I learned that, this is actually a terrible practice for the environment. So now, I've been using reusable water bottles forever. In fact, I highly recommend this style, this Coleman style that you push the button on, or Contigo makes them as well. But my point is, you can't put yourself into the experiences and mindset of someone else. Another example, when I was in college, I spent a week in Bali as part of this study program. So this was 91 or 92, 1991. And I was blown away with how much litter was on the ground. And not tourists, locals would just throw stuff into the streams because they had a culture where that plastic and things, those were new concepts. So they really didn't have a strong sense of the consequences of littering. And so they're doing the best they could. Didn't even see it as a problematic thing. Sarah says, wow, nailed it. Thank you for seeing and articulating our common humanity. I feel loved and seen by you after some challenging moments with some family members. Grateful to be a love ambassador. Thank you, Sarah. It is a good reminder because boy, oh boy, as humans, we're judgmental. It's the way we're wired. We judge, we dislike, we have preferences. And all of that, it's just an exercise in suffering. If you are upset because someone else's behavior, if you're being upset because someone is littering, you've got a few choices. You can yell at that person and hope that makes them afraid to do it again because they don't want to be to feel the anger of others. You can peacefully say, hello, dear friend. I have such a connection to this earth, and it pains me when I see litter and trash getting into our water supply and the ground soil. And would you consider making a more effort into putting those things into a trash can? I would so appreciate it. Have a beautiful day. And the third option is, and you can be in combined with the other ones, is, why am I so bothered by this? Can I forgive this person? Can I figure out what in myself is being stimulated and instigated by this other person's behavior? Are there aspects of my own lack of care for the environment that I have not forgiven. And so when I see people doing a thing like that, I subconsciously am attacking them because I still have judgment for myself. As you are attacking and angry at someone who litters and you write about it on your phone, that the very creation of involved all sorts of bad effects on the planet. It's like, but you can work on yourself. You can work on your thoughts and your actions. Anytime that you have judgment and preferences, it's an opportunity to work on yourself, practice boundaries. Hello, Alan Cat Food. Alien Cat Food, even better. Alien Cat Food says, donate platelets to a hospital. It's nice because your body keeps making more, and better than donating in a blood bank because there are fewer people that need to get paid. I remember seeing or listening to a podcast about the blood donating industry, and I kind of wish I didn't learn all that. Bombin is here saying, yes, this fall crisp weather is invigorating. So grateful. Love the grandpa pic in the background. Thank you, brother. Looking forward to seeing you soon. We got men's brunch Sunday. Vale says, as for gratitude, grateful for a cold, sunny, beautiful morning in this moment. Yeah, I do like a little cold. I get to put on my cozy clothes, which San Diego, we don't have tons of cozy weather. So I love coats. Heinen says, gratitude to you, Lisa, for the invite to the 3 and 6 p.m. gratitude circle. That's Lisa in this room, not my Lisa. It's hard for me to make time later in the day. However, that makes me that much closer to coming. Nice. Alien follows up, you can donate platelets every 2 weeks. Gurvat, in reference to my litter strategy, says, all better strategies than my go-to, just calling them an a-hole. I'm glad you said that, because it certainly is tempting to punish people, to use shame as an attempt to govern and enforce. And that can be effective. However, what often happens is when you attack someone, you set the stage and you say, hey, we are against each other in this topic that I'm about to start. And so once you know that the other person's the enemy, then whatever they're telling you, don't litter, asshole, you're like, fuck you. And I'm gonna throw this all on the ground. The goal becomes fighting instead of resolution. Anytime you are fighting or you feel like you have a conflict, see if you can reframe it to, instead of me versus them, reframe it to me and them versus a problem. Everybody is way more invited to be a helpful part of a team. They're invited, if you give someone the opportunity to gift, the opportunity to be the hero, say, oh, you know what? My daughter is over there watching you. Would you mind taking that trash and throwing it in the trash can so she can see an example of someone being awesome in the world? Now, if that person says, fuck you, well, then you tell your daughter, unfortunately, some people are really hurting inside and they lash out in all sorts of ways. And we have to learn to keep our distance. It's like some animals. You don't pet snakes that have rattles. And some people, they will expose their rattles to you sometime. And you just gotta find a boundary. Create a boundary. Welcome everyone who has popped in. If you want to share some gratitude, we still seem to be going, even though we're almost at 10 o'clock. Alien says, I've started a practice of cleaning up the litter several times a week. It reminds me that I cannot control people, and then I'm grateful for a clean street. That's such a good one. I used to do, in my old neighborhood, there were certain places that would accumulate like tons of garbage, and it was wind or whatever, but and I would go out periodically with gloves and a bag and just make the place better. You know, it's like I often see like on Nextdoor, people complain so much about the people who don't clean up their dog poop, and I agree. Not cleaning up your dog poop is very high on my list of terrible sins. It's not as high as using someone's good heart against them to deceive them or to, scam them. Like, "Oh, my daughter we broke down and my daughter's in the hospital. Could I get $5 for gas?" Like, you're not that's not a true story, and now you're making me close my heart to people that really I wanna be able to keep showing compassion to those people. So that's, like, at the top of my list of sins. Not cleaning up dog poop is up there. But if you are angry about it, you need to decide what's the cost of being in a state of anger. And actually, if I go and clean up the poop that's in my yard, while I don't like it and I shouldn't, and it's unfair, will it result in a life that is free of poop and allow me to be at peace? Well, that sounds like a better use of energy. Thank you, Gerbot. Heinun says, gratitude for anyone who showed up for me a month before I spoke up on here and showing up each is not weird, but rad. Paige, good morning. Paige says, I'm grateful to find you this morning on my way to work. This is so beautiful. I'm so grateful to receive your magic and love in the world. Thank you, Paige. I think, I do this every day. I don't always put it on Instagram, so I'm glad you caught it today. It's always live on Facebook and YouTube. And it just, for me, I need a practice to remember that the world is filled with awesome people. And there's so many things to be grateful for. Because if instead I go, what does the internet say today? Oh my gosh, people are angry and mean and terrible. And wow, everyone's selfish and greedy and ay, ay, ay. And then your mind has got, okay, I got tons of gristle for what's the food for the, I don't know, tons of content to just stew on and build upon this crafted narrative that keeps us in a state of fear, of otherness, of anger. You have to actively choose where you place your focus. You actively look for gratitude, pay attention to it, write it down, share it so that those things, the good things, fill out your worldview. So that, sure, there are things in the world that are terrible. And there are things that are amazing. It's always been that way. It will always be that way. The easiest way to make your life better, to make yourself happier, is to spend time paying attention to what's good in your life, to notice what you're taking for granted and bring it from beneath the conscious surface into awareness. I have running water. I have a parent that's still alive. I have 5 working digits on each hand. I still have one shoulder that works well. All right, last chance for gratitude. We're almost at an hour. My goodness. And if you're watching this recording, thanks for sticking with us. Your energy counts because Hug Nation does not occur in a specific time or a specific location. It is an energy, an awareness that we come together and bring, which you can do if you're not here. If you're on the road or in line or at work at 9:00 and you can't be here for this live broadcast, you can just remember, ooh, Hug Nation is going on. Let me think of some gratitude. Let me remember that there's cool people out there that are in gratitude right now. And that will help me remember that this world is a lot more amazing than I was starting to fall into believing. And with that, wherever you are, I'm going to make an ask of you. Even if you're in the office, you can do it subtly. Just kind of slowly, like, give yourself a little hug and see if anyone notices. But if you can, give yourself a big hug and embrace the body you're in. Just give a slight kind of wow awareness to this thing that has been breathing on its own, this heart that's been beating on its own. It's been digesting food and giving you energy and fighting off all sorts of bacteria and integrating other bacteria and so that it works in your gut. Like this, it's incredible. Your consciousness is functioning within one of the most unfathomably complex and miraculous things that exists in the universe. And amongst the things that it allows us to experience, physical sensations, feelings of love, joy, and the other side of all those things, the struggle, the suffering, pain, to give us contrast so that we don't fall into a null of just like, this is baseline, whatever. Man, you get sick for a week. The week after that, oh God, does it feel good to be well. So let's be grateful to be in a body. Let's be grateful that we have the tools to connect and be reminded that we're not alone. Let's be grateful that we have our voices, that we have people who will listen to us. Even if this is the only place that you feel safe, you have a place where you can speak your truth. You can practice your authenticity. You can practice noticing the good things in your life without somebody going, oh, somebody's stuck up. No, let's share the wins. I want to hear. Toot your own horn. This is a horn tooting space. So thanks for being a part of it and encouraging us and inspiring each other and inspiring me to know that this world is filled with people who would rather hug you than hurt you. Let's take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us here, thanks for being here for Hug Nation Live. I love you. Go to lifestudent.com for links to all my good stuff, except for the Love Ambassador Meetup January 10th and 11th, which still has a few spots. It's in San Diego. It's going to be like this vibe, except like 20 times more awesome. And then we're going to go dancing together afterwards.